Welcome everyone to week 5 of our class, Education 638, Health Education for Teachers. And things have been looking pretty good so far. Hopefully we can keep the motivation and hard work going for just a couple of more weeks. And in this week's module, you're going to take a look at chapters 12, 13, and 14. But before we get into module 5, just some thoughts regarding module 4. First of all, it may take me some time to complete the review of your lesson plan draft because I do have multiple sections of the course in addition to other courses, so be patient with me. But in the meantime, read and review any feedback provided from your classmates. This information can be helpful in understanding what may need to be revised. I will also look at this information when I'm assessing your draft, and I'm usually able to get a good idea as to what your lesson plan draft may look like or your final lesson plan may look like based on the peer feedback. So let's take a look at Module 5, which includes consumer, community health, environmental health, and injury prevention and safety. And you'll see that the module is going to follow the same format and expectations as previous modules, but just be sure you read through the instructions and guidelines included within each assignment, the wikis and forms. Read those closely. I think you get the idea by now of the expectations, but I don't want you to assume that they're all the same. In 5.1, you're going to complete your wiki goal or your goal wiki. You're going to read through the 10 goals and determine which one is the best fit or the best focus for your students' health needs. And then you're going to be creating a glossary of resources. I wanted this to be an area where you can actually have access to resources and information. There are tons of resources out there that are available, but they're only useful if we know about them and if we have access to them. So in 5.2, you're going to create a glossary about how you would teach community consumer health. So based on the goals you've chosen, what will be a good resource, a good tool, a good activity that you find online? And you'll need to include the information you see there, the age group for your resources, as well as the goal that you've chosen. And you need to be sure you tie in a health standard to your goal. Remember, the health goals in the book are general national health goals, and you want to connect that to an actual health standard from your California health standards. So be sure to include all the information you see listed, being sure you provide your one paragraph explanation as to how you might use that resource as well. Then share some of the great resources available here so we can have this collection of information that you can pull from in the future. This is going to be open for a while, so always feel free to come back to this particular form. Chapters 13 and 14 are going to follow a similar format, but you'll be looking at environmental health and injury prevention and safety. So you'll follow pretty much the same approach with those as you begin working on assignment 5.3, though you'll want to approach this with some sensitivity. Many of the health issues covered are things that can hit close to home, and some of us have dealt with these in depth. Some of us are dealing with them now, and some of us are going to experience these issues on a personal level sometime in the future. Assignment 5.3 looks at child abuse, which can take a lot of different forms, from physical, psychological, or emotional. So you want to approach this form from the eyes of a teacher. How can you help students on a daily basis who may be experiencing some of the abuse issues based on the article that you'll read? And how can you use some of this information and apply it to a realistic situation? There are some links here for you to take a look at about child abuse and neglect, in addition to some information on being a mandated reporter. You'll see that based on statistics, there are significantly more reports being filed in Fresno County in comparison to those filed in California regarding child abuse. There are about 9 in 1,000 cases that are actually substantiated, meaning it was actually determined that the child was in fact experiencing some abuse or neglect. Now, while this class does not have a goal of making you a mandated reporter, once you're in a teaching position, you are required to do that. So you need to inform yourself or be informed on what a mandated reporter actually is. So I have some information there for you to familiarize yourself with. And then you'll finish this module with the wrap up, the evaluation, and the survey. And I hope that this class is being informative. I hope that you're learning something from it, and I hope you enjoy these last 2 weeks as we begin to wrap things up. If you need anything, remember, I'm just an email, phone call, or text message away. See you next week.